The good, the bad, the ugly. Stonewall Jackson. General Thomas Stonewall Jackson stands as a towering figure in American Civil War history. His legendary battles, unwavering resolve, and inscrutable personality continue to fascinate and polarize even today. To understand Jackson as a leader, however, we must delve into the multifaceted layers of his character, recognizing both his undeniable brilliance and the shadows that clung to his command. Jackson's tactical genius was his calling card. A West Point graduate and veteran of the Mexican War, he possessed a deep understanding of warfare, a chessboard where men were the pieces and victory the ultimate prize. His flanking maneuvers, surprise attacks, and relentless pursuit of the enemy became his trademark, leaving a trail of Union defeats in his wake. Battles like First Manassas and the Shenandoah Valley Campaign cemented his reputation as a military mastermind, earning him the unwavering loyalty of his men and the admiration of the South. However, Jackson's leadership was far from conventional. He was a man of contradictions, shrouded in an aura of mystery. His communication style was cryptic, often leaving subordinates confused and frustrated. He rarely shared his plans, preferring to issue vague orders and trust his officers to decipher his intentions. This lack of transparency fostered friction and miscommunication, leading to missed opportunities and costly blunders. The infamous friendly fire incident at Chancellorsville, where Jackson himself was mortally wounded, stands as a tragic testament to the consequences of his sometimes puzzling command style. Jackson's leadership was as much about discipline as it was about strategy. He demanded unwavering obedience and adherence to strict military protocol. His harsh punishments for minor infractions and relentless marches instilled a culture of fear and exhaustion within his ranks. While this undoubtedly fostered a sense of order and preparedness, it also took a toll on the morale and physical well-being of his troops, leading to desertion and decreased combat effectiveness, particularly in the later stages of the war. While Jackson's victories undoubtedly bolstered Confederate morale, some argue that his pursuit of personal glory often overshadowed strategic coherence. His relentless aggression, even in unfavorable circumstances, resulted in unnecessary casualties and squandered precious manpower. This short sighted focus on immediate victories, exemplified by his unauthorized pursuit of Union forces at Antietam, ultimately contributed to the South's inability to sustain its momentum and win the war. Stonewall Jackson's legacy remains fiercely debated. He was a complex figure, a brilliant strategist with a flawed personality, a hero to the South, and a symbol of the lost cause. His leadership style, while effective in the short term, ultimately contributed to the Confederacy's defeat. Yet his undeniable military genius and unwavering dedication continue to spark admiration and inspire study. Perhaps the true value of understanding Jackson lies not in idolizing him, but in recognizing the complexities of his leadership and the lessons it offers about the human cost of war, the dangers of unchecked ambition, and the importance of clear communication and strategic coherence in times of conflict. Jackson's military acumen was unparalleled. A West Point graduate and veteran of the Mexican War, he possessed a deep understanding of tactics and maneuver. His ability to rapidly move his troops, even through grueling marches, allowed him to surprise and outmaneuver Union forces in key battles like First Manassas, the Shenandoah Valley Campaign, and Chancellorsville. Jackson's flanking attacks and audacious movements became his trademark, demoralizing Union troops and boosting Confederate morale. Jackson's leadership qualities were equally impressive. He inspired fierce loyalty and dedication in his men, who admired his courage, discipline, and unwavering faith in the Confederate cause. His stoic demeanor and unwavering resolve in the face of adversity earned him the nickname Stonewall, a testament to the confidence he instilled in his troops. He led by example, often sharing the hardships of his soldiers and refusing to take special privileges for himself. Jackson's victory played a crucial role in bolstering Confederate morale, especially during the early years of the war. His successes, often against larger and better equipped Union forces, fueled a sense of hope and defiance in the South. He became a symbol of Confederate strength and resilience, personifying the lost cause ideology that fueled the Confederacy's war effort. Jackson was not a rigid commander. He readily adapted his tactics to the changing circumstances of the battlefield and embraced new technologies like the telegraph to enhance communication and coordination. He understood the importance of logistics and supply lines, ensuring his troops were adequately equipped and provisioned. This adaptability and willingness to learn helped him maintain an edge over the Union counterparts. Despite the Confederates' ultimate defeat and the stain of slavery forever associated with its cause, Stonewall Jackson's influence on the Confederate Army during the American Civil War remains undeniable. His military brilliance, leadership qualities, and unwavering dedication to the South made him a crucial figure in the conflict's early stages. His legacy, however, is complex and requires a nuanced understanding of the historical context in which he lived and fought. Stonewall Jackson's positive influences on the Confederate Army during the American Civil War were multifaceted and significant. His military prowess, leadership skills, and dedication to the Confederacy played a crucial role in shaping the course of the war in the South's favor. While his victories undoubtedly bolstered Confederate morale and temporarily halted Union advances, Jackson's leadership style, personality, and strategic decisions ultimately contributed to the Confederacy's eventual defeat. Jackson's communication style was notoriously cryptic and often left his subordinates confused and frustrated. He rarely shared his plans, preferring instead to issue ambiguous orders and leaving his officers to interpret his intentions. This lack of transparency sowed discord and hindered effective coordination, leading to missed opportunities and costly blunders. During the Chancellorsville campaign, for example, Jackson's failure to clearly communicate his flanking maneuver resulted in friendly fire and the loss of his arm and eventually his life, a critical turning point in the battle. Jackson's disregard for orders, while often celebrated as audacious brilliance, also had detrimental consequences. His tendency to deviate from Lee's instructions and pursue his own objectives strained the relationship between the two generals and led to strategic miscalculations. During the Maryland campaign, Jackson's unauthorized pursuit of Union forces ultimately contributed to the Confederate defeat at Antietam, a pivotal turning point in the war. Jackson's demanding leadership fostered a culture of fear and exhaustion within his ranks. His harsh punishments for minor infractions and relentless marches took a toll on the morale and physical well-being of his troops. This, combined with the constant pressure to achieve victory, led to desertion and decreased combat effectiveness, particularly in the later stages of the war. While Jackson's victories undoubtedly boosted Confederate morale, some argued that his pursuit of personal glory often overshadowed strategic coherence. His insistence on aggressive attacks, even in unfavorable circumstances, resulted in unnecessary casualties and squandered precious manpower. This short-sighted focus on immediate victories contributed to the South's inability to sustain its momentum and ultimately win the war. Stonewall Jackson's legacy continues to be fiercely debated. While his military genius and unwavering dedication are undeniable, his negative influences on the Confederate Army cannot be ignored. His leadership style, strategic decisions, and unwavering pursuit of victory had detrimental consequences for the South's war effort. Ultimately, Jackson's story serves as a reminder that even the most brilliant commanders can make fatal mistakes, and that personal glory can come at a steep cost. While Stonewall Jackson's contributions to the Confederate Army were significant, his negative influences on the war effort cannot be overlooked. His leadership style, strategic decisions, and disregard for orders ultimately contributed to the South's eventual defeat. His legacy serves as a complex reminder to the dangers of the unbridled ambition and the importance of strategic coherence in war. General Stonewall Jackson was a leader forged in iron and controversy. He was a master of warfare, but also a man of contradictions and questionable tactics. His legacy remains an enigma, reminding us that history is rarely black and white, and that understanding the complexities of war and leadership requires us to grapple with the shadows alongside the light. General Thomas Jonathan Stonewall Jackson stands as one of the most iconic figures of the American Civil War. His daring leadership, tactical brilliance, and unwavering dedication to the Confederate cause earned him the legendary status in the South. While Jackson's legacy remains controversial due to the Confederacy's ultimate defeat and the institution of slavery it defended, his undeniable positive influences on the Confederate Army during the American Civil War cannot be overlooked. It's your history. Learn it, know it, and love it.